Good afternoon. We are going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. This is the public hearing on the Metro Nashville Public Schools budget hearing, or budget review. We are going to, right now we have a few people signed up to speak, and before we get started and let you come to the podium to speak, I'm going to give it to Mr. Pinkston to offer a brief summary of what we're going to be looking at today, and then we'll go ahead and get lined up for our public comments. So, Mr. Pinkston, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are contemplating currently for the fiscal 2014-15 operating year a $779 million budget, operating budget for Metro Nashville Public Schools. That is roughly a $32.5 million increase over the current budget year. There are several different moving parts to the potential increase, and all of this is still subject to change. As recently as today, our understanding is the Governor Bill Haslam is drawing back his proposed teacher pay increase, which will affect our local match, so we're still running all the numbers. However, we've been at this budget process for several months now, actually going all the way back into last August. We started early this year for several reasons. We met with the Metro Council Budget and Finance Committee and the Metro Council Education Committee last month and had a good joint work session. We are continuing this evening with our budget work. We will, after the public hearing this afternoon, we will convene as a Budget and Finance Committee to further consider the budget and potentially recommend to the full board, which of course the Budget Committee is a committee of the whole, but potentially recommend to the full board for budget approval on April 8th, which is a week from now, and on April 16th, we will take our proposal, if everything gets done on time, to Mayor Dean for a budget hearing with him at 11 a.m. Central Time on April 16th. So that's what the calendar looks like, that's what the process looks like, and we look forward to hearing our public comments this evening. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. And we will go ahead and start the public comments. As I call your name, please come to the podium, and we will go in the order that I have on my paper because it's just that much easier. So we'll start with Lynn Franklin Hoyt.
Is it on?
And Ms. Hoyt, we have a 2-minute limit, and we're going to keep the time on you, so go right ahead, please.
Thank you. My name is Lynn Hoyt. I have 3 children in Metro Nashville Public Schools. Thank you for allowing me to say a few words about the MNPS budget tonight. All too often, the public system is asked to do more with less. I was extremely disappointed to see the governor going back on his promise to become the fastest improving state in teacher pay. And parents are well aware the race to the top funds will dwindle, leaving municipalities holding the bag to keep successful reform in place. But my district has not forgotten its teachers in its proposed budget. Thank you for including salary and compensation increases. This is so important to maintain professional teaching quality. My budget concerns center around TFA and charter schools. We'll start with TFA. I have a child with a TFA teacher, and like all first-year teachers, we have first-year problems. But he holds promise, just like the TFA rock star teacher he replaced. And as a parent, I crave long-term commitment, stability, quality, and consistency from my teachers. To increase the school's academic reputation, teacher turnover needs to be reduced significantly. A TFA 2-year commitment is a disappointment, setting the stage for a revolving door. Parents want Vanderbilt Lipscomb. They want degree licensed childhood educators to be the focus for our system quality. Charters are another budget line item concern. Maybe the pure fact that their money is put in a separate pot is the most uncomfortable factor. By the nature of how money is allocated to charters, we set the system up to compete for students and funding. Competition by nature creates winners and losers. All schools and students in MNPS should be equitably resourced and funded to win, not just those with the ability to choose. Also, resources should be put in place to optimize the success of our new raised academic standards and our move to online testing. We must fund quality teacher training and adequate computer availability. Lastly, I want to cheer the pre-K focus on this budget. My children's pre-K experience helped prepare them socially to be students of learning. All children should have access to that privilege. This budget is really about keeping up with the cost to educate a child. No child should have to always be asked to do more with less when it comes to their education. Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen Henry.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm Stephen Henry. I'm a middle school teacher currently on leave as president of the MNEA. And I want to thank you for all the work that you do and for this opportunity to share a few thoughts or maybe to get on my soapbox. This fall, Governor Bill Haslam was proud to announce that Tennessee was the fastest improving state in the nation. And with much fanfare, he also announced that Tennessee would have the fastest improving teacher salaries in the nation. Now, I'm not sure if he knows what the word improving means. In order to accomplish his goal, he gutted the state's salary schedule for teachers, and as of the announcement yesterday, is no longer going to increase his proposal for teacher pay. So, unless he's planning on all other 49 states of reducing their salaries while Tennessee stays still, that's the only way I think that we're going to move ahead. I also know that you spend your money on what you value. And based on the actions of this administration, I've come to the conclusion that if we're waiting for assistance from the state, at best we can expect nothing. At worst, maybe a policy or two to get in the way. I would prefer they just leave us alone and let this district do what it knows to do. But I also know something else, and that is that this district appreciates and knows the critical role that is played by employees to increase student achievement. Like last year, you have some difficult decisions to make concerning this year's budget. Last year, you froze our salary index in order to pass along the state's mandated 2% increase. And now, with nothing coming from the state, I would urge you to include a 2% increase in this year's budget for support and certificated employees. You know how hard teachers work, and this budget proposal would benefit every certificated employee on the salary schedule while also increasing their lifetime earnings over their career. It would also recognize and honoring their long-term commitment to the district. And it might just also help the governor know what the word improving means. Thank you.
Thank you. Thomas Weber. This is unlike our board meetings. If you need to make a comment, board members, please feel free.
Hi, my name is Thomas Weber, and my child starts kindergarten next year. Last year, we approved a $750,000 contract to TFA, and the rest of the teachers got nothing. Okay, think about that, and I implore you to think about the message that sends to our teachers. That we value these new, unexperienced, just learning teachers over teachers that have been in our classroom a period of time. This year, there's another $750,000 up, and we're going to renew it again. We need to think about, too, because that $750,000 is just a small portion of the investment we're making in these teachers. We are taking our existing teachers and our coaches and asking them to invest their time and energy in getting teachers ready to become high-quality teachers. What we call high-quality teachers, not what the governor calls high-quality teachers, but what we call high-quality teachers, and then they leave after 2 years. I don't know how you feel about putting in a bunch of work only to have it go to naught, but I don't enjoy it much. We need to make sure we keep that 2% raise in there, and we need to make sure that we're sending the right message to our other teachers. I would also implore you to look and think about what we're doing as far as human resources and recruiting teachers. TFA has notably not had the ability to keep up with the amount of recruitment that they need to do. Their numbers in recruitment are dwindling. If we rely totally on TFA because we can't do what we claim they can do, what are we going to do in 2 or 3 years when they don't meet those recruitment numbers? So I urge you to think about that. I urge you also to put as much money into nationally certified board teachers as we do into our TFA teachers. If we're going to recruit fresh new blood, shouldn't we record the best in the business, reward what have been certified the best in the business? So I urge you, please stand by our teachers and help them. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. Danielle Norton?
Phyllis Phillips.
No. I have a different list.
Gotcha.
Good evening. My name is Danielle Norton. I'm a pre-K teacher at Buena Vista Elementary School. I've been teaching for 6 years, all at Buena Vista. I just wanted to come and first thank all of you. I've met most of you the last time, I guess a couple months ago, when I not planned, to say what I had to say about the importance of the expansion of pre-K. We've been working really hard, meeting, going over curriculum choices, going over what a model pre-K should look like. And I just really appreciate that you all are so much behind this and you realize the importance of giving every child the opportunity to have a good start to get into, to be successful in their educational career from K through 12. I also want to make a point that we're all very adamant not only for the expansion of the different centers that we have thus far, but also to expand and to make a consistency throughout the district. So that's always in the forefront of our mind. I hope that, any letters I need to write, I would love to go with whoever I need to go to the city council. I have friends on the city council. I'm very passionate about this. I have another teacher friend that'll be speaking in a minute. And I just want to say thank you, and we appreciate the willingness that you have to get behind our most valuable resource, our babies, our 3 and 4-year-olds and 5-year-olds. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Norton. If we decide to go for a poster child for pre-K, I think your picture should be on the T-shirt. Mindy Co.
Hi there, I'm Mindy Co, and I'm a pre-K teacher at Bellshire. I wanted to thank you, the members of the board and Dr. Register, for what you've already done in ensuring that our youngest learners have the chance that they need to succeed. And last month we were here and you went ahead and agreed to repurpose Ross and Bordeaux, and then I'm hoping now as we go on with Casa Asafran that's going to provide a lot of seats for a lot of children. But the next step is what we're really looking for, and I know Danielle alluded to the fact we've been working really hard at choosing some appropriate curriculum and making some decisions that will really provide a strong start, because we know how important it is to do this right. But it's going to take some help from y'all to make sure that we can provide the proper curriculum, not just for our hubs, but for all the pre-K centers, all the pre-K classes in Metro. And we want to make sure that we can provide the proper professional development, that we can make sure the parents have access to the things that they need, because we know that when we work with those 4-year-olds and those young children, it's a family effort, and that's a very, very important part of that. And the bottom line is it all costs money. And so I know in this real tight budget year, you have some big decisions, but I hope that supporting pre-K will not be a problem as you move forward with this great initiative that I know will be very successful in Metro. Thank you.
Thank you. Ben Jordan?
Thank you for an opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Ben Jordan, and I stand as the national organizer for Stand for Children. And Stand empowers parents and teachers to advocate for strong public schools for every child. To that end, I'm here tonight on behalf of those parents and teachers that strongly support the direction that this board has taken in support of expanding pre-K. At Stand, one of our core values is that every child needs access to a quality pre-K. We believe that investing early and also investing wisely has a huge impact and a profound lasting effect, not only just on the primary grades, but the entire academic career of any student. Especially true, that is, for the low-income and at-risk students. Far too often we find that they enter school lagging behind, steps behind their peers, and with that situation, it's very difficult to ever catch up. On a personal note, my wife and I have 2 individuals less than 3 years old in our household that we answer to every day. A few years ago, we moved close to Ross Elementary, about 8 years ago. And our driving concern was, what kind of kids and childhood friends are my kids going to have? But more importantly, what kind of access to education are those kids going to have access to? I can say, as an engaged parent, I'm encouraged and I'm thrilled that the leadership here has taken the right steps in ensuring that Nashville children have access to quality and have really good access to quality pre-K. Dr. Register, I thank you and your entire staff and the leadership of this board and the position that you've taken on this very sensitive and vital issue. I know that when you're choosing things to tackle out there as an issue, we're proud and we applaud you for taking this step and taking on this issue. We also share your vision for Nashville becoming a leader in pre-K education and early childhood education, and we stand ready to support you 100% in your effort to make that reality, that vision a reality. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Anne Marie Farmer?
Hi, my name is Anne Marie Farmer. I am the mother of a second grader in Metro and an incoming kindergartner this year. I just wanted to be here to say how much I appreciate our school board and this city and MNPS for taking the step forward with pre-K expansion. A lot of people have already eloquently spoken about the need for pre-K, the benefits of it. When we hear about the difference in vocabulary and school readiness and all sorts of life skills that some of our most at-risk children are behind in by the time they come to kindergarten, that's a moral issue. And I'm just very pleased to see MNPS put this out front and make it a priority. Makes me very proud to be part of MNPS. So I want to say thank you, and I want to say that I hope that we'll hear from MNPS. I think there's widespread support for this in the community. I hope we hear how we can advocate, what we can do to help the funding for this happen, help make sure it becomes a reality. I also wanted to say that I was very happy to see the across-the-board pay increase in the budget. That's also very important. I so appreciate my son's teachers, all the staff at his school. I want to see them compensated and rewarded and recognized in the way that they deserve. And I hope that regardless of the governor walking back his funds, I hope that you can find a way to keep that in the budget. And I also hope that as parents we hear how we can advocate to support our teachers and their compensation. Thanks.
Thank you, Ms. Farmer. Phyllis Phillips?
Good evening. I know you've seen my face before. I presented with my team on the pre-K expansion, but tonight I wanted to speak to you as an educator of pre-K children. Over the last 4 years, I've been the pre-K coordinator, and I've had the opportunity to work with so many different people who have a strong interest in pre-K. I've listened to teachers and principals talk to me about adding pre-K programs to their schools and what it would mean for their children and for their academic performance. I've listened to families call and worried about what they would do, what would be their next step if they did not get in a pre-K program, how would their child be ready for the rigor of Common Core. I've seen children when I walk into pre-K classrooms and I see the excited look on their faces and seeing how excited they are to be in a classroom with peers and to come to school. I am especially amazed to see the English language learners coming in speaking no English and not even being able to express their feelings or to tell their teacher anything that they may need. And at the end of the year, to see the growth that these children show, it's just amazing. But I'm also here to speak on behalf of all pre-K teachers and families and children to thank you for your support and insight in making pre-K a priority in Metro schools.
Thank you. Do we have any other individuals that would like to speak at this time? Come on up. What's your name?
Bonnie Spear.
Bonnie, come on up, Miss Spear.
It should be on your list, I think.
No, ma'am.
Oh, well.
That's okay, because that makes you a star.
Well, thank you
Just
very
go right
much.
ahead.
Okay, I did send an email. But my name is Bonnie Spear, and I'm the director of Blakemore Children's Center on the corner of West End and Bowling, and we serve a variety of children from all kinds of socioeconomic, ethnic backgrounds, et cetera, et cetera. My own 2 children went all the way through Metro schools. I have a granddaughter who in the next few years will be in Metro schools. I have a daughter who teaches in Metro schools because she was educated in Metro schools. I highly support the expansion of pre-K. I really appreciate Dr. Register's forethought. I have a concern, though, that I think needs to be hopefully addressed in that process. and I'll say it maybe in twofold ways. One is the use of the word universal, which I think it means one thing perhaps to the people in this room and something else to the people in the community. And so I would ask that you really define that word and what that means when you are talking about expansion of pre-K. And my other strong feeling is that you already partner with some wonderful community programs. There are many more community programs that would very much like to partner with Metro for pre-K. My program doesn't have the space, so I'm not advocating for myself. I think that is a wonderful thing. I think that in the areas where you're looking to put the school hubs, that it would be smart to look at the community programs in those areas that are serving some of those children, so that if you open a larger school in that area with all pre-K classrooms, you don't wind up just shuffling children and decimating the pre-K classroom in a community program because the children move to the free program, and then you still couldn't serve all the children, and so a different group of children would move into that community program, if that makes sense to you. Mm-hmm. So I would say, please, children need it, but think carefully how you do it. And I thank you.
Before you leave the podium, I have a question for you. You said that there are two definitions of universal. I would love to know what your definition of universal is.
When I hear the word universal, it says to me that, in the example of Metro Schools, that Metro Schools wants to offer a place for every single child to come to pre-kindergarten, in the sense that we started many years back with kindergarten, and universal kindergarten then became mandatory kindergarten. And I think that I included, I think there are people who fear that when they hear universal kindergarten, it means we want to take the place of all the other pre-kindergartens that are out there. Yes, some people are going to pay for private schools, so it's not going to affect those children. But the majority of children we want to serve in our public schools. And I don't feel that all children are best served at that age in the public schools. And I think parents need to hear that for some people, that is a wonderful option. Other people choose something else. But that you're not trying to swallow up all of the community programs. And that's what I truly believe that most people think when they hear you say universal pre-kindergarten.
Thank you, ma'am. And I'm going to ask you, Dr. Register, if you would respond to that.
Thank you so much for raising those issues, and let me really speak to a couple of them. First, to provide by universal, and I promise you I'll not use that word anymore. You can hear that, if you can hear that. But what we mean by that is providing a seat in Davidson County for every family, every parent, for every child who needs and wants a seat. We serve about 2,500 students in our school system now in pre-K. Head Start serves about 1,400 students. In comparison, our kindergarten enrollment is 8,500 students, and there's a big gap. There are a lot of children not served. The way that we can serve every child by giving them an opportunity for a seat is to develop the partnerships. And that's a partnership with Head Start, but it's also a partnership with the private providers. And we are working in many different directions now, but one of the things that we want to do immediately is to develop that partnership with private providers too. Now, here's my caveat. They have to be quality. We want quality programs for every child, and we want to partner with the private providers as well as Head Start and as well with our own 57 school sites to make sure that all of them have high-quality programs. And I hope that you'll talk to Phyllis and to Brenda Steele about some of the ideas that we have. We just haven't reached out to you yet, but it's coming in a hurry.
I will do it, and I thank you. I brought a friend who will speak to the same thing, and she's got a high-quality program.
All right, that's what we need.
Stacy and Chris.
Come on up. What's your name?
My name is Candy Good, and I'm the Executive Director of the King's Daughters Child Development Center in Madison. And Miss Norton was one of my teachers, so yes. So we have a great quality program.
What was your last name again? Good?
My name, Ken Good.
G-O-O-D-E? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
But thank you so much for saying those words of partnership. That is very encouraging. We do serve at-risk children in Madison. We are nationally accredited preschool, pre-K program. So to be able to partner with the schools, that is awesome. So thank you, I applaud you, and for me just to hear that word partnership and that we can be coming to the table with you is wonderful.
Please let us get your name before your leave.
Oh, don't worry, I will. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Good. Any other speakers? Okay, seeing none, we're going to wrap up with remarks. We'll start with all board members. Ms. Froeg, any remarks? Mr. Hayes? Mr. Pinkston?
No.
Ms. Shepherd?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Dr. Brennan? Dr. Register, any final remarks? No, thanks. Fantastic. Thank you so much for coming out. We are adjourned.